Welcome to Baking Bakers.
Welcome to Baking Bakers. We've got a special one today.
Yeah.
I've got Rylan and Morelli here, and we are in a strawberry field. What are we going to make today, guys?
Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam. First step of getting strawberry jam is what?
Strawberries.
Picking strawberries. So that's where we're going to start. It's quite hot out here. We're going to pick a couple of quarts. We're going to need more than that, but we've already got some other berries, and let's see what we got. Okay, get it. And put it in there. Good job. Let's see if we can find some more.
Strawberry.
Oh, there's some, sis. Right there.
One more.
Can you get them? Okay.
Oh, look at this tiny berry just for you.
Good.
Tiny
Rylan's
berry.
helping.
I need one.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got our couple of quarts here that we picked. It is quite warm out here. So we're at Creek Valley Farms here in Waldron, Michigan today. By the time you're seeing this, the season's going to be nearing the end, so the heat is definitely pushing the berries along. But if you're close and you want to come check them out, they have fantastic berries here. You can do you-pick, which they discourage on days like today when it's 90 plus degrees out. And they also have plenty of pre-picked berries just ready for you to come and get, and they're fantastic. So come check these guys out. We're gonna go grab some more pre-picked berries and take them back to Grandma, and we're gonna get started making some strawberry jam. All right, we are back here in the kitchen. We've got all of our strawberries. Most of them are over here, although we've already started to hull them, wash them, and get them ready to make jam. So, Mom is the jam expert here. I'm gonna kind of let her take over the process.
Yeah, will you give me one of those jam boxes? So we can our jam, sort of, and it works for us. There are different ways of doing it. If you're not comfortable doing it the way that I do, certainly find your own way to do it. But we use this product, Sure Gel, and we follow the directions for the canned jam. We don't actually put it in a water bath, and we'll explain that as we get to it. But that's basically the directions, and you will find that we have a good system. First thing we do is start to, as he said, wash the berries. Once we get enough berries that we can process them, I go ahead and start that while he continues to wash the berries.
So we have a lot of berries. We'll talk about, kind of batch quantities and stuff here in a little bit. We like strawberry jam. We use a lot of it throughout the year between all of the families and stuff here. So we're doing quite a bit of it. Once again, I've got this little strawberry huller that I bought on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description. It works really good if you want to use that. But yeah, so we've got that. We've got a bowl over here where we're just putting them in with a knife, cutting the tops off, cut our berries there, and then we're moving over to the table. So after we hull them, kind of wash them initially in the sink, in the colander there, we're then putting them in a water bath here, basically, to get all the little leaves and stuff to float off. Sometimes you get some that...
There's one right here,
Yep.
and they usually float to the top, and sometimes they can be tough. So sometimes a paper towel will work to get them out. Sometimes my finger will work.
There's one right
here.
there. Yep.
And if you don't get them all out, guess what?
It's
A
okay.
little bit of fiber.
It blends into the jam. But yeah, so we're going through just kind of cleaning them from there. Okay.
Once I've done that process, I'm transferring them to this bowl. And let me just stop right now and say that some people use vinegar in their water bath. You can do that. I have done it in the past. Helps get off any imperfections, or not imperfections, but any kind of contaminants or dirt off. It's not a necessary thing, but you can do it if it makes you feel better. So then I transfer them to this bowl. That's plenty. And our recipe calls for 5 cups of prepared jam berries. A lot of people will just stop here and crush them with like a potato crusher or something. The bakers do not like chunks. We don't like our salsa chunky, and we certainly don't like our berry jam chunky. We puree it until it's smooth as a baby's butt. So you find what works for you. We love this. So I'm going to put them in my blender. Whoops, and escapee. And once in a while when I pull them out, I'll see another green little thing that I'll pick off. Once I get it about 2/3 full, I'm going to process it. It's going to be loud. All right. Now that I've got that pureed, I'm going to add more berries to it. All right, now I'm going to measure out 5 cups into a bowl. And you want to be very exact when you're measuring if you're using this recipe. You don't want to put extra berries in, you don't want to undercut the sugar, you want to do exact measurements. That's 4, and I need 1 more. I just need to be able to see my marking there. And there's 5. Okay, we're at the stove. I have a nice big pot that I'm going to pour my berries into. See how smooth those are? That's the way the bakers like it. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. I learned to do it that way from my mother-in-law, and I'm telling you, she was the best cook in the world. All right, I have my 5 cups of berries and my 1 pack of Sure-Gel that I'm going to add to it. And I'm going to stir that in, and we're going to bring it to a boil. I'm also going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of butter, and that's going to cut down on the foaming. It doesn't really add anything to the recipe, it just helps keep it from foam. While this starts to work, or starts to heat up, let me tell you about my jars and rings. Again, this is how we do it. Do what you're comfortable with. I process my cans for jam. I won't do this for everything, and never for meats or vegetables, but for jam I do it. I process them in the dishwasher on a sanitize cycle, and so they're in there waiting to be pulled out to use. I put my rings, I get a ring. I put my rings in the dishwasher, as many as they can fit. And then I put my lids. You have to have new lids every time you can. You cannot save lids for canning. They come in a 12-pack. So I have a thing of water boiling, and I'm just going to throw them in there, but you got to separate them so that they're not all stacked up. And those can just simmer back there for the entire time I'm doing this. So this is going to take a little while to get to temperature, or to get to boiling. We want to add a rolling boil. Once it comes to a rolling boil, we're going to put in the sugar. and I will show you that process when we get to it. Okay, let's get ready. We've let our strawberries come up to a boil, and now we're going to add the sugar. And we're going to add 7 cups of sugar. Don't come for us. It's delicious. And you're going to measure that sugar very accurately with a dry scoop and a level. Super important. Do not cut back on the sugar. We're going to stir it in, and then we're going to stir it fairly consistently until it comes back to a rolling boil. And then we're simply going to pour it in our jars and seal them. It takes a minute to get 7 cups of sugar mixed in to 5 cups of strawberries. Should be enough, but
An extra one just in case. Okay, jars have freshly come out of the sanitize cycle in the dishwasher. Our jam is boiling over here. We're getting lids and rings ready.
there's 2 there too. Get them apart with the brushing. I want these moved over there. I'm going to move my jam close to my jars. I did put a funnel in my hot water to make sure that it was super clean. I like to have a variety of jars ready to go. That's hot. Here we go. We are going to scoop this jam as fast as we can. We're going to get the lids on. And we're going to turn them upside down for 5 minutes. You have to fill it pretty full because it's going to shrink back when those air bubbles pop. You want to use hot jars because you don't want the hot jam to break your jars. You can put them in your dishwasher or you can put them in a hot pan, cooking pot with, and bring them up to a temperature where they're nice and hot. See how that's shrinking back already? I had it full level. Before you put your rings and your lids on, you have to make sure there's no seeds and no juice on the edge where the ring. Oops, pay attention, Lisa. There are nothing that will prevent that from sealing.
Put that upside down right now?
You can do the rest first.
Do the rest first.
We kind of get in each other's way here is a problem.
I'm gonna stay out of the way.
Best to stay out of the way of the person with the hot liquid. Can you lift that a little bit? Perfect. You need something to hold out. We're going to put these in the back. We're just going to do them finger tight. We're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. Once that 5 minutes has passed, we're going to turn them right side up, and then we're not going to touch them for 24 hours. I don't clean up, I don't do anything, I just let them sit for 24 hours. Once the 24 hours has passed, I will take the rings off, these, and then I store them like this. And I clean them up with a washcloth and get the sticky stuff off the outside. Our timer just went off for 5 minutes. I'm going to turn them right side up. They're very hot, so be careful. Or use something to protect your hands. Now, I'm not going to move those for 24 hours. So right now these lids are humped up. When they seal, they'll suck down and we'll hear a pop. And I'm telling you, it is the most gratifying sound in the entire world. So as soon as that starts, oh, one already did. Did you hear it while I was talking?
So what causes that? Why do they pop?
That means that the air is out and they're sealed and they are protected forever.
Right, it's because the hot liquid is cooling down and it's shrinking, so it's creating a vacuum inside there, which means that it's sealing the jars off.
When you watch them, they won't pop. As soon as I turn off the camera, you'll hear pop, pop, pop. The reason I like to use a variety of sizes is because I'm not ever sure how far my jam's going to go. So if I only have a little bit left, I want to be able to put it into a small jar and still use it. Do you hear it? That was it. So cool. So I think these two popped at the same time, and this one just popped, so we're only waiting on this one. From my vantage, I can kind of see the hump on this one. There it is. They all popped. And if I lightly touch them, there's no hump. You don't want to poke at them before they've popped because that will make them artificially pop. You don't want to do that. Just let them set. This this discoloration, that's just from a little bit of foam that got in there. That doesn't hurt anything.
Okay, so we are several batches into this. I think batch number 4 is on the stove cooking right now. And we got a bunch to do yet, but Mom wants to do a little variation on one of these batches. So when she was at Creek Valley getting some strawberries the other day, they also happened to have raspberries. And so she grabbed a pint of nice red raspberries. We've got them washed up here. And we're gonna make some raspberry strawberry jam. Same recipe, just gonna replace some strawberries with some raspberries. So.
All right, while I do this, flip my jars. The timer's gonna go off. Okay, so I'm not gonna do all raspberry. I'm gonna mix it with the strawberries. My daughters like this a lot. So I'm not really measuring much, except that this is a pint of strawberries, or raspberries, sorry. Gives it a nice little zest or tang, if you will. Start with measuring the raspberries so we know how many strawberries we need to add. Okay, so this yielded just under 2 cups. So we need 5 cups. So I'm gonna add some strawberry puree that I already made. And again, you always want to measure this super accurately. 2 cups. Strawberry making day is a long day, but it's so worth it. All right, that's not quite 2 cups, so I need to puree some. We got lots washed. Usually the whole crowd is here helping, but time schedules just didn't work out this year, and so we're basically doing it here ourselves, which is no problem. Loud. Gonna have to stuff them down a little better. They are not one to go. That's 4. We need 1 more cup. So the only difference is the fruit. We're doing the exact same process for the whole rest of it. So I will see you in a bit.
Well, here's where we're at in the strawberry jam making process. All of the berries have been hulled and washed, and that's the remaining ones there. Mom's getting us some more batches of puree ready to go to the stove. We've got 2 batches now cooking because it's taking too long. We're racking up the jar count here, and we were running out of jars. We've got a few left yet, but I had to go scrounge up a few that we're going to try and get washed up here real fast. And we're also about out of Sure Gel, but we have some other branded stuff here that seems to be the same and should work. How many batches are we at now, Mom?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
11 and 12 are on the stove? 11 and 12 are on the stove. That's a lot of strawberry jam today. Tired? It is now 6:15. We left to go pick berries at 11:30 and started processing just before 1 o'clock. So it's been a long day, but we have made a tremendous amount of jam. And over there in the corner, I added it up. We have 6 quart jars because we ran out of small jars. We have 21 pint jars. We have 5 3/4 pints, cup and a half. We have 25 cup jars, and we have 6 little mini half cup jars. That totals up to about 6.3 gallons of strawberry jam. So, Mom.
The reason that I like to use different sizes of jars with every batch is because sometimes you don't have enough to pour into one of your bigger jars. A full jar. It has to be full in order to seal.
Right. We also have a bowl over there filled to the brim with what was left over from some of the batches.
From the pans. Okay.
I think we did 13 batches total. The one that has some the raspberries in it. Just a couple of notes. I think all of our jars, except for one of the small jars, has popped and sealed. The smaller the jar, the longer it takes, because it takes more to cool down to shrink to create that vacuum in there. We will look at these tomorrow, make sure that they are all sealed, make sure none of them are up. If any of them are, it needs to be used up right away. It's not sealed, it won't store.
Store it in the refrigerator. And
put it in the refrigerator. Once you open a jar, it needs to go in the refrigerator, but otherwise these are shelf stable. You can put them in your cupboard in your pantry and they will store just fine until you're ready for it.
And tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, when we are ready, after our 24 hours is up, and that's just a number that I came up with, you don't have to stick to that. I take the rings off. The rings can be stored elsewhere. You don't want to store them with the rings on, because you can use the rings for all of your canning things, your pears and your peaches and your green beans. So I'll take those off and I'll wipe down the jars good, because as
sticky.
neat as we are, we did spill a little bit.
Here is the thing about making strawberry jam, and don't let this scare you away. But when you do what we did today, everything in your kitchen is going to be sticky. Everything in your house is going to be sticky. Everything in your car is probably sticky. And in our case, everything in our neighbor's house is probably sticky. Maybe the whole county, and we're in 2 states, I don't know, everything is sticky. It'll be okay. We did a really good job. Mom's got it great where, we put towels down on everything that we're setting jars on, so it's relatively easy to clean up, but you will get sticky.
Yeah, I've been doing this for over 40 years, and it never gets less sticky.
But it's sugar. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So
I want to tell you a
talk
couple
about
of
our pans
things.
here.
So I have these pans that you may have noticed me using, and these are antique old school pans, and this one has some damage, but these were my mom's and her mom's before her. And my point is going to be that if you are ever at a garage sale or an estate sale, buy these pans. You will not regret it. I use them for everything. We use them for sweet corn when we do sweet corn.
Make an appearance for that.
Anytime we want to mix something really big, we get out the big pan to mix it in. They're just very, very useful. And for me, they have a lot of meaning because my family has used them. And one more note about the strawberries. When you're pureeing them and you get them all done, chances of you having exactly the right amount for a batch at the end is going to be very slim. So I like to just pour them in Ziploc bags for use with another project, possibly frozen margaritas. Not saying that, but not saying that. So thanks for following along with us. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below.
Peanut butter and jelly for days. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one, and hopefully we'll see you again next week here on The Baking Bakers. Thanks for watching. It is the next morning here, and I'm out in our office. I've got one of our quart jars of fresh strawberry jam. It's sealed well. I'm going to open this up because, well, it's peanut butter and jelly time, and I just thought I'd show you this. So if you take a knife, butter knife, and you just put it underneath the edge of that lid and kind of pry up, the lid will come off. Now we're going to save this because we're going to put it on as we put it in the refrigerator and stuff, but yeah. There's our jar of jam. We got a little bit of foam on the top, not too bad on this one. And we're gonna scoop some of that out. Already got my toast made up here. Spreads beautifully. I've been looking forward to this one. Got our extra crunchy peanut butter on the other half. Cheers. Thanks for watching, guys.